Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Digital Toolbox Podcast. I am your host, Emmanuel Tejada. I own Landscape Maverick. We're a digital marketing agency for landscapers and hardscapers. And today we have a special guest for you guys. We've got Tanner from Green Space Lawn Care. Tanner, introduce yourself, man. Let's do it.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Tanner. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I own Green Space Lawn Care. And been at it since I was a little kid, and just wanted to come on and kind of talk about how I got to where I am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Tanner, dude, I know you started off with a push mower. So tell us about that. Tell us about those days when you were, I think you were maybe like 10 years old. What made you want to start landscaping? Was it for the money or you just wanted to do something fun? What
Yeah,
was it?
so I'll rewind even beyond the push mowing because there was something before mowing lawns that was making me money, and it wasn't quite enough. But
Hmm.
so growing up as a kid, we always had chore charts. I was the oldest of five kids. So every single day after school, even from the age of 8, we had responsibilities to do on top of homework before we could go play. So oftentimes, cleaning the house, doing different chores, whatever. One of them was scooping dog poop. So I realized that, some of my neighbors probably didn't want to do this. And at 8, I was scooping a few of the neighbors' yards, $4 a pop. It was not much, but yeah, $4 a visit. I'd go every week, pick up their shit, and it wasn't bad for an 8-year-old. It bought me all the candy and unnecessary things. But then got to age 10, and my dad let me start push mowing the lawn with him. He'd help me walk it. I was barely as tall as the handlebar on that thing, and kind of same thing. The lady I was scooping dog poop for became my one of my mowing customers. She was right across the street, so I once a week, maybe even further spread out than that because it would take me so long. I'd walk over there, and it took me 4 hours to mow a little quarter-acre yard, and I was charging $15, and that was awesome. It was triple what I was, more than triple what I was making scooping dog poop. Sure, it took longer, but I really enjoyed it. And so I just, slowly kind of snowballed from there, gradually got to other neighbors within our little community. Everybody was like quarter to half acre yards. So it was perfect to push mow. And man, just, I'm still working in that same neighborhood today. We actually maintain that HOA for that neighborhood I grew up in. My parents don't live
Oh,
there
wow.
anymore. But yeah, we do a lot of work in that area, and I've been running up and down that same street for 17 years mowing lawns.
That's awesome. And I saw the picture too of you on a John Deere on your Instagram, bro. That's a legendary pic right there.
Yeah,
Freaking
I
love it,
was
bro.
12 in that photo. So I got enough money saved up. I bought that first riding mower for like $220, and it smoked, and it didn't have a hood, but it had a little trailer hitch. So instead of walking to the yards, I was able to get a little cart and start running around the neighborhood that way, and that carried me through. I used a little riding mower like that with a trailer from 12 till I think I was 15. At 15, I bought a brand new snapper, uh, zero turn, and it was right before I was getting my license. So I got a good zero turn and turned 16, got a truck and trailer, and it's just been
And
a
that was from money that you had saved up over the years.
oh yeah, yeah. I've never had an investment, no shareholders, no equity partners, no gifts from my parents. It's literally all from scratch.
Dude, I love it, bro. And I can tell that you come from that background too because because of your content on Instagram, like I can tell you're not show off. You're not this, oh, look at me, I'm doing this, I'm this good. You're very humble about it. You have fun with it. But the image is definitely of that of a humble dude that works hard and is looking to keep progressing. And on that same note, Tanner, I mean, what's your end goal with Green Space? Is it to grow it up to $1 billion company, or is it to like what do you envision with it?
Yeah, so I really like. So we're a fescue only lawn care company, so we don't do any warm season grass. I really like fescue. I mean, it's just I know a lot about it. There's
What
a
does
lot
that mean?
here. So fescue is the variety of grass. So you've got like Bermuda, centipede, fescue, St. Augustine. There's tons of different varieties.
Like Kentucky Blue? Is that like type two
Yeah,
grass?
Kentucky bluegrass. That's another variety.
Mm.
And every grass lives in a different climate, requires different care, different equipment. Um, So 3 years ago, I realized, fescue is really what I like and what we're good at, and we got rid of all the other clients that were warm season, basically. Bermuda and Zoysia is the other really popular one here. Um, so, in order for me to continue doing what we're doing, I really need to stay within the state of North Carolina. You get much further outside of that, and fescue doesn't do as well. I mean, there's places that it grows all over, but it's just not the same as here. So I want to be, probably 10 location max in my lifetime within the state. And I'd really like to just kind of slowly grow from Charlotte, move my way out. I've talked about this on another podcast, but I think my first satellite location I'm going to end up giving to one of my best employees and treat it like a franchise for them.
Mhm.
But somebody that I can trust to do what I've done in another area close by.
Dude, I love it. And that's a win-win for both of you guys because the brand gets to expand. That person kind of has their own business now. And that's a
Yeah.
unique angle, bro. I like that. That you're thinking of your best employee, you give him that. I really like that. And on the same note, real quick, Tanner, I've never actually heard of a lawn care person like yourself, like a lawn care company owner, niching down into a specific type of grass. That's interesting. So what do you do when a customer is this like you guys install the sod and then maintain it, or like what if a customer doesn't have that type of grass?
So we will do everything from killing an existing type of grass and restarting your yard to have fescue. Fescue is the grass. You see those beautiful stripes. It's just dark green. It's tall. It's lush. The drone videos I post, that's all fescue grass. And a lot of
Mm,
people in our area really want that image because these other grasses just they don't perform the same. And fescue is definitely the most expensive, the most intensive care, the neediest. It needs a lot to be happy and healthy. So there's a lot of money in it, and the margins are great. When you're trying to keep this stuff alive all summer, just everything about it is expensive. So it's not a grass for the budget homeowners out there. It's just it is what it is. So that's what
dude,
I've really spent time studying and getting to know because it's the elite grass in
dude,
my
I
opinion.
love it. And I've always said it because it's like lawn care is definitely much more it is definitely a much more affordable service than landscaping and obviously more affordable than hardscaping. But I think that what you just said there makes you the first person that I know, and the title I'm going to give you is a luxury lawn care company.
Yeah, and there's huge merit to that. I mean, it really is. And the people that you end up working for that are willing to spend the money to have those kind of lawns usually own a business themselves. They've been in my shoes many times. There's certainly plenty that aren't business owners, but they have a different perspective and a different outlook on goods and services and the things you can provide to each other and what those things cost. So it really dials you down into a market that is pretty recession proof and just good people.
Love it, bro. Love it. Absolutely fucking love it. And I mean, let me ask you a question. Does it hurt your profit margin or your profit overall, turning away a lot of the different types of grasses? Like, how often do you come across somebody that already has that type of grass, or most of your projects just you kill the old grass, install the new grass, and then you start maintaining it?
So we turn away a lot of people, and I sell those leads to my competitors that are willing to basically do any grass, or there are guys that specialize in just warm seasons, so they only do Bermuda and Zoysia. And I used to do all of them. There's plenty of companies that do it all. I think it's really tough to treat those different types of grasses and have all the necessary equipment, the knowledge when you're doing so many different things. It's like having too many SKUs in an online store. You're not going to sell 100
Mm,
products. You're going to sell your best 10.
that's
So
true, and you should focus on those 10, keeping those stocked and as best as possible. I agree with that. What about, So do you end up taking on more jobs or
we turn
referring
away
to other people?
we turn away way more than we take on. Um,
Wow.
I'm still, I don't spend money to market. I never have. Everything is word of mouth, the trucks, the website, the Instagram. So, we're still growing about 15% a year. And that is all just people finding us and realizing that we know our stuff. So, even though I'm turning away hundreds of lawns every season and selling those leads for $50 a pop, the accounts that you do pick up that are willing to baby this stuff and they've got a nice property make it completely worth it.
Wow. And so what does your pricing look like? For example, if somebody already has that grass, you guys are just coming in to maintain that lawn.
Yeah, so everything's an annual contract. So they sign in for a year and we're full service. So we're not just going to mow your lawn. We're not just going to um, trim your bushes. I mean, we will do odds and end projects for maybe old clients or family and friends and things, but really try to get full service agreements written up. So we mow 42 times a year. We trim the bushes twice. We spray the lawn, 9 times a season. We're planting new grass every fall. We remove the leaves. We do annual flowers, put down mulch, pine needles, anything that is reoccurring stuff that wears out, grows back. That's really what we focus on because,
So you guys include that. So you build them out monthly, but the contract is for 1 year.
yeah, so most people pay a flat monthly rate year round, bundling a year's worth of service, divide it by 12, and there you've got your monthly rate.
What
So
is that divided by 12? Or like, yeah, like what is that
I
number?
think the total for the year was, make it easy, 12,000 a year. They'd pay 1,000 a month year round. And those contracts vary tremendously. I mean, we have HOAs that are very valuable all the way down to an average home contract's probably 10 grand a year.
Which would be maybe like around
800 a
800,
month. Yeah,
$100 a month.
800 a month is pretty standard for an acre lawn if we're going to do full service and it's not something out of the ordinary or super intensive. I mean, you can certainly spend more than that and still have an acre yard. So it really boils down to just what they're wanting to do.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Dude, I think this is a very, very unique point of view. I've never heard of such a thing before, but it's definitely working. So, what are you guys on pace for this year, if you don't mind sharing, as far as revenue?
About 2 million.
2 million?
Mm-hmm.
Are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit. From just one type of grass.
And just maintenance. We don't do
Dude,
any
what the
installs.
fuck?
We don't touch patios. We don't touch pavers. No lights. No irrigation. We
Bro, I
do
have hardscape clients that don't even make that per year. Holy shit.
and
So let me ask you, like, how do you like that's fucking incredible because you're so niche down into just one. So how do
it
you?
doesn't sound very niche, but like we're in an area where, I mean, there's probably over 1 million people in Charlotte. We only service this little 10-mile bubble within South Charlotte.
Mhm.
Easily 500,000 people are just in my little service area because it's all high density housing. Then you've got these outlier properties where somebody went and bought 10 lots because they wanted privacy, and now they have this giant yard and they put in a well and they want it to look like my Instagram. So we try and find those accounts and
Hmm.
hone in on them.
Wow, bro, that's amazing. And are you still in the field yourself?
I mean, I get out there whenever I need to, but day to day, I'm running around. I'm doing sales. I am the sales. I don't have anybody that manages sales for me. I've got an operations manager and then a bunch of good crew leads and laborers. So I don't have to be out in the field, but honestly, still enjoy it. And I'm not married, don't have kids, so it's kind of like if my to do list is cleared out, what else am I gonna do? Might as well go work with these boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's definitely builds culture. You know, the owners out here getting down and dirty with us. He's one of us. He's one of the boys. So it's a good image.
Yeah, it goes a long way, and it really helps to train those people when they see the way that kind of the baseline standard. The way I work is the way I expect everybody to work, or better.
Or better. Love it, bro. And let me ask you this, Tanner. How do you guys keep organized? Do you guys use a CRM? What type of tools do you guys use to make the magic happen?
Yeah, so I only take on new clients a few months out of the year because we really need to get your lawn started in the fall. So if you're trying to sign up right now in June, there's not much I can do to fix your lawn. So
Mm.
my demand on myself for me to go out and sell and sign new contracts is fall, winter, early spring, and then we close the door. We maintain what we got for the year. So that's why I don't have a salesperson. But I'm doing everything between QuickBooks and Field Routes. Field Routes is a Service Titan CRM that manages all of our routing, our day to day, notes, addresses, documents, pictures, like everything that the crews are doing is happening in Field Routes. And then QuickBooks is basically there for bookkeeping and taxes. I have a not full time. I hire a bookkeeper to do our books on a monthly basis, so I don't have to touch any of the accounting side of things.
Yep.
So those two programs are huge. I mean, we would not be where we are today without a good CRM and a good accountant and accounting software.
What CRM do you guys use again?
Field Routes.
Field Routes.
It's
Is that
owned
more
by,
for lawn care?
yeah, it's owned by Service Titan. They have
Ah,
CRMs for everything.
gotcha. Yep, I've definitely heard of Service Titan. I've heard a lot of their other services too. That's awesome, man. Holy shit! But I can't believe 2 million from lawn care, one specific type of grass, a 10-mile radius on Charlotte or a specific part of Charlotte.
South Charlotte. So we're outside of the city. My trucks never really hit a highway. Um, my furthest outlier lawn is under 30 minutes from the shop, and that's with some pretty good traffic. So I'm blessed to have
Amazing,
kept
dude.
it there. But we do a lot of stuff in the community. We are in the same service area every single day, so it's kind of hard not to see a green space truck if you live around here. I've got 8 trucks, and 6 of them go out every single day. So
All of
there's
them
just
have trailers.
yeah. Well, I run one box truck. Everything else is truck and trailer, but everything is got a wrap on it or a logo or lettering. So wherever we go, we look good and we do a good job.
Dude, that's the formula right there. That's the go-to formula. I freaking love it. And as far as equipment, I did see one of your pictures where you had, I think it was like maybe like 20, 30 steel weed whackers laying around, and I guess you were doing maintenance on them. That was a sick picture, bro. And do you guys stick to a specific brand for, uh, for the zero turns or for the weed whackers? Do you guys just flirt around with different brands?
So I've always bought still for all the handheld stuff. That picture you're talking about, I actually just replaced all of the still equipment I own. So I spent close to 30 grand on still equipment, replaced every single string trimmer, edger, blower, hedge trimmer, chainsaw, um,
Wow.
you name it. So
Are
that
you
was
guys
all.
going electric with that?
No, it's all gas.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, everything's gas. And then for the mowers, predominantly we use Wright, which are the yellow stand-on units. Those are just by far the most elite machine you can buy. Certainly the most expensive, but they last a long while, and they're all gas powered too. Nothing's diesel or electric. So we try and stick with those two. I mean, they're vibrant. They really contrast awesome against a nice green yard and a blue sky. So if you pull up and all your equipment's clean and bright and yellow, I mean, it looks good. Yellow and orange are two awesome colors out there.
Yeah, yeah, especially coming out of that nice, clean wrap truck. So, dude, I think that your branding is definitely 10 out of 10. Got to give it to you.
I mean, that is crucial for anybody. I've had this argument. Not I shouldn't say argument. I've had this discussion with numerous other guys I'm friends with here in town, and they run all white trucks, no logos, and they're like, people keep calling. They're finding me, and it's very possible you don't have to brand your business to get business, but the longevity of your sales and the constant trickle of sales is going to do a lot better if you have some good branding.
100,000%. That's something that I wish all of my clients understood. It's something that I have to convince them on. It's like, branding is important. It's not just about having good work. You have to be able to make that look sexy to the customer, right? Whether it's a branded shirt, like you said, making sure your equipment is shiny, making sure that your website's on point, making sure that everywhere you guys go, you guys look uniform, just to make the company look bigger than what it is too. I mean, not everybody's doing 2 million like you, but if it's a smaller company, one thing I recommend is like try to look as professional and as big as you can, right? Try to make a customer think, holy shit, these guys look so professional. They must have 50 guys on their team. In reality, it's just a two-man crew, but they're just so dialed in that
Yeah.
it really helps the brand. Is that something that you had to do earlier on? Would you say as far as branding yourself to look bigger and be able to win those contracts over?
Well, the first year I incorporated, when I went from just being, side job mowing lawns for people to becoming green space, I incorporated in January of 2017. And by March, my personal truck was lettered. I had logos on the trailer, nice t-shirts made. I mean, that was like a number one priority because I realized early
Mm,
on, how's anybody going to find you? 2017, Instagram was not what it is right now. I didn't have an Instagram or a Facebook or website when I started, and it wasn't, it didn't do the volume that it does right now. I mean, Instagram is a huge tool right now for any business. So you really had to organically grow 8 years ago when I was coming out of the gate. So branding on everything we did, everything we touched was huge.
dude, yep, I love it. I love it, man. And I know that we're running close on time here, Tanner. I would definitely want to be respectful of it. But I just had one quick question for you, which is, I know that you refer a lot of leads out, but what does your sales process look like? How do you market? Like, do you get calls from Instagram, from your website, your Google Business profile? So somebody
Yes.
calls you, and what does the rest of the process look like?
Yeah. So we get most of our leads that I can measure because word of mouth is tough to really track down
Yep.
how many of those are converting, but the majority is coming from a high ranking website and Google page. And I've built my own website, done my own SEO, go in and just constantly edit your website, add new pictures, new videos, new text, reword it, use chat GPT, make your website kind of change, and Google will recognize something happened, and that will really get you ranking.
Yes, sir.
So I get about 20,000 impressions on my website a month and probably 150 calls. And that's coming from Google Analytics. So, it's definitely more than that. But I'd say half of those are disqualified almost from the get go because they either are too small or don't have the right grass. We want an acre and up, and it's got to be fescue. And it's
Fescue.
going to be in my service area. So people
Right.
will find me because my website ranks, but they're in Matthews or they're in Indian Trail or Rock Hill, and we refer all that stuff out. But if
Gotcha.
somebody
But
calls,
all those calls come to you.
yeah, yeah, everything's coming to my cell phone. So, I mean, that's why I try to only sell and pick up new leads a couple months out of the year because there's just such an influx on my phone. I mean, it is getting to the point where I'd love a 1-800 number and somebody to answer that, but it is it it is irreplaceable for the owner to pick up the phone and give you the time of day for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever it is. I mean, that alone is going to help you sell that job. So, when somebody gets a 1-800 number and there's no one there and it's a recording, I mean, they're going to hang up before they even get to press number two.
Yeah,
So,
well, it depends. It depends on who you route them to, because I would imagine you probably get a shit ton of calls, and it probably interrupts your workflow. So maybe it's something to consider in the future. Who knows?
oh
Um,
yeah, it definitely will reach a breaking point. But at the moment, I mean, I manage it. It's definitely doable. And I let a lot of stuff just hit voicemail. And if they're gonna leave a voicemail, they're interested, so I'll call you back. But
dude, what a beautiful problem.
I certainly don't pick up every single call. That's for sure.
Dude, I love it. I love it. I'm a huge fan of the niching down. But Tanner, I know that you have to go. I don't want to. I don't want to keep holding you. One last question. This is going to be 30 seconds to answer. 30 seconds to a minute. But if you were to start over, what's one thing that you would do to speed up the amount of money that your company is making, the profitability of it?
Yeah. So some stuff I definitely messed up on in the beginning is just not having enough resources, not having enough friends that were in the same boat as me. There's a ton of knowledge to be found in just talking to somebody else that's struggling with what you're struggling with. So that certainly would have helped me cross some hurdles much, much quicker. But, it was, there was nobody my age that I could go, or nobody even slightly older than me that I knew that I could go and talk to for legitimate advice. Lawn care in our area has really exploded with the massive influx of housing being built. In the last 10 years, I mean, this area has quadrupled, if not more.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so lawn care has become a huge industry, just like pressure washing and garage door repair and HVAC. All these service businesses are just coming out of the woodwork to meet the demand of all these new homes. Um, so I was at the age that I was at, and the time that I was at, there weren't a ton of resources for me to go to. So anybody out there that's listening to this, really try and connect with somebody that's doing more work than you're doing, and ask them how'd you do it. That's basically what it comes
Who
down
are
to.
some mentors that influence you?
So there's a local guy here that is probably in his 50s. He started doing lawn care back in the 70s here in Monroe. His name's Daryl. Awesome dude. Sold his business right when I was getting out of high school and sold it for a lot of money. And that was in 2015. But I met him in 2014 or 2015, somewhere around there. And he was a huge resource for me to learn about the industry and learn about scaling. Because when I got out of high school, I had no idea that you can make a full time living mowing lawns. I mean, I just thought it was good cash for a teenage kid. So that guy was huge, really opened my eyes to the growth potential of something like this. Then my dad is, business owner, owns multiple businesses, does my bookkeeping and my taxes. He's a financial planner and just huge resource when it comes to money and um, paying for things, making decisions on what to buy and when to buy and who to hire. I mean, irreplaceable knowledge from my father. So that those
Wow.
two have been huge resources and still are.
Wow, man, that's amazing, Tanner. And I appreciate you sharing all that and getting on here with the time that we had. I know that you're about to head out, but Tanner, I really appreciate you coming on, bro. You're definitely a youngster. You're killing it. I think what you have in your hands and your business, what you're running, dude, is incredible, bro. So keep
Thank
doing
you.
your thing, keep grinding. Maybe we'll have you on again for a longer podcast down the line. But in the meantime, bro, keep killing it. How can people get in contact with you if they want to be your customer or they might need some coaching in the future or they have a question for you? What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, just Instagram. That's probably your best bet. DM me, give me a follow, whatever. I'm happy to help answer questions and give you guys some good resources that I've found that really have changed things and been good for me.
Awesome. Well, there you guys have it. Go and follow Tanner at Green Space Lawn Care on Instagram. Give him a follow. He's a great dude, great heart, hustling. Love it. Tanner, thanks for coming on, bro. Have an amazing rest of your day.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir.